Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Of course I got the babies. They don't go too far from me. If I'm out here, they're out here. If I'm in my room, they're in my room. So, alright, so today is still the 19th of February. I was going to say January. 19th of February. It is Saturday, 2022. Alright, so what do we got going on here? We're going to do a video. We're going to talk about some powerless tools that you will definitely need to have after an EMP. So I'm going to actually show you one of them. I don't think I've shown this, so hold on a second. Let me just grab this. So one of the things I've talked to you guys about before, prepping wise, instead of prepping flour, is to get wheat berries, right? Wheat berries have a shelf life of 30 years, and so, you know, they're a great thing to have. But in an SHTF event, or even before an SHTF event, if you wanted to go and process those wheat berries, you need to have something to do that with, okay? Well, what you need to have is a grain mill, right? So this is one of those powerless tools that I absolutely think that you should have in a post-event. What do you think? Is that interesting to you? I picked this up actually at an Amish store, and it's the way to grind wheat, and it's a nice grain mill to have, and it is elbow grease. That is how it works. So that I picked that up. Oh God, I think it was in the summertime. I grabbed that. Something to add to my preps, and I just stop. No, I don't want you climbing on me. No, I do not. I'm trying to make a video. I'm trying to be busy here. She is something else. All right, so I think it's a really important prep that you should have. They're not super expensive. I don't even know if the price is still on here. If I had to guess, if I remember correctly, it was about $70 for that. But again, that's going to be something that's going to be a great thing to have now and in a post-event, because it will work in both cases. All right, so that is definitely one of the things that you should definitely have. Another thing you should definitely have that is for a post-event is right there, a wood stove. You can cook on it. Now they have stoves out there, guys. The Amish use a lot of the Queen Anne stoves. A little more expensive, obviously, but it has cooking chambers. It has chambers in the Queen Anne's where you can have water, where you can heat up like 30 gallons of water to have hot water. So obviously in a post-event, we're not going to have the hot water on demand units or those type of things. So you're going to need to heat up water somehow. And those type of stoves have them right there, the reservoir that you could use for bathing and stuff like that. You would obviously mix that hot water with cold water to make halfway decent lukewarm water. So that is definitely something to think about. And like with a Queen Anne stove, they have the chambers where you can bake bread and stuff like that. But having a wood stove, period, is going to be a huge advantage in a post-event because it's still going to work without electricity. So that's a great tool to have. Now, one of the things I've always thought about, in a post-event, I keep quite a bit of gas on hand, and that would not be going, in my way of thinking, that would not be going for a generator. What I would be using that gas for literally would be for the chainsaws until I ran out of gas. Once you run out of gas, obviously you need to have other tools on hand to be able to process wood. So a crosscut saw would be a great tool to have in that. Obviously you're going to need regular axes as well, and you're going to definitely need to have like a maul axe for splitting wood and stuff like that. So those are some obviously powerless tools. that you would work really, really well. A crosscut saw, obviously you're going to be able to cut down trees with that, and I think that that is a smart thing to have. And you know, you're going to be, that's how you're going to be bucking up wood and stuff like that as well. You get it into that sizes where you can buck it up, and that's where your maul axe comes into effect at that point. Those are really good things to have, you know, as far as in a post event, and that's again not gonna have requiring power. Another thing would be a meat grinder. To be able to grind meat up, to process it, to make hamburger and all those type of things. A handheld meat grinder is another thing that's a really good tool to have. Now, I will tell you that is one thing I do not have at this point, but it is, hey, no. It is a good thing to have. It's a good tool that you should have. The next thing is a water pump. So, you know, people think about a well and stuff like that. Well, if you have the handheld water pump that you can pump and you can prime it yourself, definitely a good thing to have, especially for a post-event type of situation, so that you can still access water. Now, with having an artesian well, I really don't have that issue because I can get as much water out of there pretty easily, no matter what. But if you don't have an artesian well, and if you're going down, 40, 50 feet to get to that water, having that pump with piping and stuff like that, it's going to be a huge asset to you in a post event, especially EMP type event. We're talking about not having power of any sort in a post event. Okay. The next thing would be like hand drills. Hand drills are a really good thing. Any kind of woodworking tools that you can think of is going to be a really, really huge asset in a post event. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is like hurricane lamps, like oil lamps and those type of things. Again, doesn't need any power. You definitely got to have plenty of kerosene and those type of things on hand to be able to utilize those in a post event. But they're a good thing to have. You're going to obviously need lighting. So the lanterns are a good thing, and a lot less danger of starting a fire with a lantern. Still can happen, obviously, but those are things that you definitely are going to need to have. Now here's one that I don't think a lot of people think about. The old military style telephones, like the hand crank telephones. So you could have that, you'd have to have some 2-core wire with that, but you run that wire from like to the house to the barn, or from your place to a neighbor's place, and you can still have communications with that, with those type of things. So I think it's a really smart thing to have as well, because it's, again, walkie-talkies are great, but if there was, like I said again, an EMP type of an event, it's probably not going to be working unless you had it in a Faraday cage. So those are things to think about as well. But again, for gardening, all kinds of hand tools, shovels, those type of things, you're going to be finding that you're going to be doing a lot of things by hand, where you're not going to be able to use that rototiller anymore and those type of things. And having a good old-fashioned hoe to get in there to the garden and to chop things up and to weed that way and those type of things, it's going to be definitely an asset to have something like that. But any kind of hand tools, that you can utilize yourself. I know that they have like the nail guns and all those type of things now, but I still prefer an old-fashioned hammer. That's just me. I like having that, a planer, having a planer that you can use, a handheld planer. There's all kinds of tools that you can get out there that are going to be a huge asset to you. I think you should have a pickaxe. A pickaxe is another really good tool to have. Obviously, you're going to have shovels as well, but those are things that are going to be an asset to you, because in a post-event, your toilet's probably not going to be working. You're going to have to be digging a latrine, and those are things you're going to need to think about. Well, you need to have the tools to dig that latrine. And I'll tell you what, a pickaxe is going to come in really, really handy in that type of situation. So if there's other tools that you can think of that we might need to have in a EMP type of event where, you know, any kind of electronic tools or those type of things are not going to be working, what type of tools do you, or, you know, powerless tools can you think of that we can use to help our lives be better in that type of situation? You know, so just things to think about. You know, having like the old-fashioned canners for a water bath canning, those type of things to be able to seal up, you know, your whatever you're putting away for the winter. Those are things that are going to be, you're going to need to know how to use it. You're going to need to have the tools that go along with it, and so those are important things as well. So just a few ideas. Like I said, I definitely want to hear your feedback on this topic. It will definitely be something that we will need to use. All right. So anyway, I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you guys are having a good day. And it has been, the sun did eventually come out here at the homestead today. We ended up with 6 eggs today at the homestead with the chickens. And but it has been very, very windy. We did get more snow coming as well. So it's just, you know, one of those kind of days where you try to ride it out the best that you can. You have the fire rocking and rolling so that you can stay warm, and it makes a big, big difference. Makes a big difference. What about you, huh? You staying close to the fire? Yeah. Alright guys, I am going to jump off here for now. I will see you all tomorrow. I hope everybody is doing well, like I said again. Remember, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. What, now you're going to come up? You know, I don't know about you, young lady. I know, you're a big baby. You're a big baby. Yeah. Oh, and there's the little baby down here. The big baby and the little baby. Pandora's the smallest. And Hella, as you can see, she's just starved for attention constantly. So, thank you, Hella. I appreciate you looking at my head. Now my neck. Ugh. Okay. Alright, down. Good girl. Remember also, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important. We tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that is going to stop you from reaching your goals is you. That's it. Nobody else. Stay positive. Stay away from the negativity. Stay away from people that tell you what you cannot accomplish. Have a great day. I will see you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.